everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to be doing a kind of like a Nuvaring review. Basically, it's going to be my experience with the Nuvaring. I used the Nuvaring for about 7, maybe a little bit more years, so 7 years and some odd months, something like that. So I started using the Nuvaring when I was 19, and then I stopped using it right around my 27th birthday. So that kind of gives you an idea of how long I was using the Nuvaring for. Okay, so I have like a little notebook here of questions, and I feel like this is just gonna kind of help to guide us with this review so that I don't forget anything that I think might be important for you, because I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you are probably looking for information on the Nuvaring because you want to start using it, or you've been using the Nuvaring for a while and maybe want to see if some of the things that I've experienced are things that you're experiencing and that kind of thing. And so yeah, so I just want to make sure that I cover all of the information that you're going to need for making a decision on whether to continue using it or to get started on the Nuvaring. So okay, let's get started. Okay, so what is the Nuvaring? The Nuvaring is, so it's a flexible ring that you insert vaginally and you leave it there for 3 weeks, and then you take it out for 1 week so that you can get your period. And then you put a new one back in once you finish your period. All of the medical information as far as what kind of hormones and that kind of thing, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box down below so that way you can look up all of the information. There are some possible things that can go wrong, like I think there's blood clots and that kind of thing. So definitely check out that in the description box down below. And I believe you can't be smoking if you're using it, things like that. But anyway, I don't have all of that information off the top of my head because again, this is really more of like a review based on my experience. But that is kind of my explanation as to what the Nuvaring is. I do know that it is one of the lowest dosage of hormones that you could possibly go on besides like the mini pill. That one has no hormones, but the Nuvaring is one of the birth controls that have the lowest dosage of hormones. How long did you use a Nuvaring? Which I pretty much covered, again, from like 19 to about 27, right around my 27th birthday. Why did you choose the Nuvaring as birth control? Okay, so this is a very good question, I feel like, because when I was deciding on whether to use the pill or the birth control, or the Nuvaring or the patch or the shot or any of those things, I was a little bit limited on what kind of birth control I could use because at the time I had what is called, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it was a Fibroadenoma. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, it's a tumor, like a ball that you have in your breast, and it's non-cancerous. And so in order to make sure that that didn't grow and possibly turn cancerous, they made sure that they put me on a birth control that was considered low hormones. And there was a pill, I believe, there was the Nuvaring, and I think something else, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So I tried the pill, but it was not for me. I could not remember to take the pill, so I kept having to double up, and it would cause like my stomach to hurt, and also it was causing me a lot of anxiety for some reason, the pill. So my gynecologist recommended possibly using the Nuvaring. So that is why I decided on the Nuvaring, because of that. My options, there weren't that many options that I had available to me, and that one seems to be the best one, so I didn't have to remember to take it every single day. That really appealed to me. Okay, can you or your partner feel the Nuvaring? Okay, so in regards to that, you can feel it. Like for me, I feel like I felt the Nuvaring there for like the first month, I feel like, and then after that I just didn't feel it anymore. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to a tampon, but because that you obviously use like a certain amount of time every month, but I guess you can kind of compare it to that. So like you kind of like know it's there, but it's not there, and then after a while you just don't know it's there. Like I didn't really even notice it until I had to take it out for a period, you know? Now, as far as my partner, he did say that he could feel it as well. I'm sorry if this is TMI, but he did say that he could feel it there, but same thing, he would just kind of ignore it. So I hope that gives a good explanation for that. I don't know, it might change, be different for every person, but that's my experience, and that's our experience with the Nuvaring. How did you feel with the Nuvaring as far as hormones? So with the Nuvaring in comparison to the birth control, for example, I felt really good on the Nuvaring. I didn't really have anything like bad going on as far as, I don't know, like with the pill, for example, I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of pregnancy symptoms. With the Nuvaring, I didn't have any anxiety. My periods also were a lot less. Like, for example, I used to have really bad pain as far as periods, so bad that I would feel like I was gonna faint, like that kind of pain. And with the Nuvaring, those period symptoms all went away. My flow as far as my period is concerned as well was really light. It wasn't, I don't want to say light as in it lasted less time, but light as in like it wasn't just as heavy and like gushy. I'm sorry if that's TMI again, but yeah, so as far as that, it was just a lot more smooth, a lot less going on. And yeah, so I felt really good on it. Now, I did have, though, in the first month, pregnancy-like symptoms, meaning I felt nauseous. I was thinking that maybe I was pregnant because of the symptoms that I was having, but it only lasted like a month to 3 months, something like that, and then it went away. Now, on to the next question that's going to explain some more about how I was feeling on the Nuvaring. Why did you remove or get off of the Nuvaring? Okay, so basically I got off of the Nuvaring because of 2 different reasons. The first reason is because it didn't match up with my schedule for school. I was doing finals. I was also working full-time at the time, and between that and the pharmacy schedule, like the pharmacy times that they were open, it just didn't match, and I didn't have a chance to go and get my birth control. That was number 1. Number 2, that kind of happened in the right moment, because for the last like 2 or 3 years, I had been feeling on and off pregnancy symptoms, and I had also been feeling a very low sex drive on the Nuvaring, and so I just wasn't feeling right for like the last while on the Nuvaring, but I hadn't gotten off of it because I knew that the pill was not for me, and I didn't see any other good options. I didn't feel comfortable with the patch, I didn't feel good with the shot, and at that point I had had my tumor removed, so I could have potentially gone on any other birth control, and the IUD did not seem to make sense to me because we were in the process of possibly wanting a child, within that time frame anyway, because I was about 2 semesters away from finishing school, and so yeah, it just didn't seem to make sense to me either. So I had never gotten off of it, but it just so happened that with my schedule stuff, I ended up off of it, and that kind of leads into the next question is, can you get pregnant while on the Nuvaring? Okay, so I never got pregnant while on the Nuvaring. I never kind of got pregnant, nothing ever happened. I think I even like I think I was like off by a day too of actually inserting the Nuvaring when I was supposed to, and I still never got pregnant. Now, obviously everyone's experience is different, because I have heard on forums, and I think even on YouTube, of women who have gotten pregnant while on the Nuvaring. I'm sure it happens. It didn't happen to me. Even when I was late on the Nuvaring, obviously I don't suggest that, but yeah, that didn't happen to me. But this leads into my next question, which is, how hard was it to get pregnant once I was off the Nuvaring? So I got off the Nuvaring in April, again, because of my schedule and that kind of thing. And we were using other methods, and I'll just say that because I shouldn't keep saying TMI, because I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you're of age. But we were using the withdrawal method as a backup method. Now, obviously, that is not necessarily going to work. I probably should have been using another method, but that's just the method that we went for because we had used that in the past, and nothing ever happened, so I didn't think that anything would happen this time, but that did not work. So I stopped the Nuvaring in April. I had a very strange periods because obviously I had gotten off of it, so like I had a period, and then 2 weeks later I had another period, and then I had no period. Like, it seemed like it was going back to the way it was supposed to. And then all of a sudden I got a period for 1 day, and that was in June, I think it was. I think it was like the beginning of June. So April I was off. June I had a 1 day period. It was a very strange one. And then not too long after that I tested positive for being pregnant. So I ended up being pregnant. And after going to the gynecologist for my appointment and all of that, I had seen that we conceived around the end of May. So that right there tells you that it's pretty easy to come off of the Nuvaring and end up being pregnant, at least for me, for my experience. Now, I'm sure that that's not everyone, but I do want to mention that I went on to a few different forums after that happened to me because I was really surprised, because I had always heard that when you get off of birth control, it's going to take months and a long time and all of that to get rid of the hormones and to actually fall pregnant. So I was really, really surprised that that had happened, even with our other method that we were using, which I know is not a sure thing. But yeah, I was very surprised. And so when I looked at the other forums about these types of cases, a lot of women had said that the same thing happened to them, that they got off the birth control and by the next month they were able to get pregnant, and they had become pregnant. So I would say that if you're looking to get off the birth control, or if you accidentally get off the birth control or something happens like my situation, be very, very careful, because it almost seems like you become like more fertile. I don't know, obviously I'm not a doctor, but I do find it strange. And yeah, so that's what happened. And so I wanted to kind of just give you guys my take on that situation there. Again, that's not everyone. I'm sure there are women that got off of it and it took them a long time, but that was just my experience. Okay, so the next question that I have here, kind of guide this, is can you breastfeed with the Nuvaring? So the answer is no. There are hormones in the Nuvaring, so they do not suggest breastfeeding while on the Nuvaring, and if anything, it'll probably dry up your milk, I would think. I'm not an expert, but that's what I'm thinking. So that's what they say though, is that if you're breastfeeding, do not use the Nuvaring. You use the Nuvaring again. So I would definitely use a Nuvaring again. I really liked it. I probably just wouldn't use it for as long as I did, because again, I was feeling kind of strange that last probably 2, maybe even 3 years. And so probably if I were to use it, I just wouldn't use it for so long, or I'd try to take a break from it and use some type of backup birth control that I would know would work. Yeah, so I would definitely go back on the Nuvaring. I personally liked it a lot. It is very convenient, very easy to use, and my periods were lighter, so that was nice. My symptoms all went away, which was awesome. And yeah, just overall, I really liked the Nuvaring, definitely. But again, just not for prolonged periods of time. That's just my body. That's just how I saw things. It was very, very strange towards the end. But other than that, for the first 5 years, I would say, were really good. So that is my experience with the Nuvaring. I am not a doctor by any means, obviously. I'm just giving you my experience with the Nuvaring. So definitely talk to your doctor, your gynecologist on that if you want to get more proper information on it. And again, I'll leave a link down below in the description box. But I hope that you found this helpful in some way. I hope that you take away some good information from it, some useful information. If you have any questions on the Nuvaring or on my experience, definitely put that in the comment section down below. I will make sure to get back to you on that. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.
All I do is adore you all of the time. I'd like to